Well, good morning. I'm Eric at Corumdale Farm. We are a year 2, almost year 3 flower farm here in Oklahoma, zone 7-ish. Kind of 7A, 7B, depends on how the winter feels that year. And today is largely going to be Peony Day, although we've been plotting on it. And we've got some other miscellaneous projects because we're starting to get some really low lows at night, like 25 to 28. So you always got to be plotting every day, especially when a flower farm is part-time and you work a full-time job. So you're always looking for opportunities to get one more project done. So today we're going to start burning some holes in this fabric behind us for our wonderful new peony field. We're going to be planting, how many did we recover? I think we recovered about 100 peonies from our existing stretch, and then we bought 350 more. Can you give me the right numbers? 235. A very, why not 237.3?
Because that's how they come in. Packs.
So we got a field here that should be able to hold about, I did the math now, with 3 rows.
What's the new math?
I think it's 450.
Oh, so we could buy more.
There'll be about 30 per linear row. Each bed will hold 3 rows. We're gonna make them a little snug because they're supposed to have 2 feet, but I didn't quite till it the exact way that I should have. I should have tilled with no walking paths at all, since you kind of get a natural walking path with 2 feet between them. So today it's gonna be burning a lot of fabric using a template and trying to get 2-foot spacing. Some of them will be about 22 inches, but we'll get it done. They'll be all right. They'll be okay.
They'll be fine.
These little babies will be okay. And we got, how many eyes are now on the old ones?
3 to 5.
So the old ones that we grew, they popped a couple more eyes. They were like 1 eye, right?
1 to 3.
They were like 1 to 3, so now they're 3 to 5. And then we got a bunch ordered in that are 5 to 7 eye. So, oh yeah. Well, I mean, I can, I'll just turn it around.
I had to peek because I was so excited.
She had to peek because she was excited. How many boxes here? We got 11 boxes. They weigh about 25, 30 pounds each. All right.
So,
Here, I gotta see if I can get it in the camera.
okay. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 eye. We got some bonuses here.
Yeah.
Got to keep these suckers dry or they'll start getting stressed. These are fun to plant because they're absolutely bizarre root structure. Here's another one.
Yeah. That's so many eyes.
But these are still, what, 2 years?
Sarah Bernhardt variety.
Sarah Bernhardt variety.
The OG queen.
Alex will go through all these varieties for everybody. We'll put some pictures up. Again, we're a steak and potatoes farm.
This is the most Dutch name ever.
Groot and Groot.
So Dutch.
Groot, I am Groot.
I grew up here.
For those who watch those movies, which I'm sure are very popular with flower farmers, the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I am Groot. Groot and Groot. So 5 to 8 eye.
Yep.
20 pieces in each box.
Then it was 5 to 8 eye, and the ones 2 we just saw had 8 eyes, so it's good quality.
Yeah. Onings seems to be the right brand. They seem to be on top of it, don't they?
Do.
So like I said, we got to plod every time we can. We've been plodding on this peony field for a couple weeks now. I think in the last video I showed kind of delivering some compost and turning this over. We had a silage tarp on this all summer, and so it's ready. I'll put 6-foot fabric down. My tiller does about 50, well, I think it's 49 inches or 54 inches. It's just a little bit bigger than the wheel width on my tractor, which is exactly how you want a tiller to work. You want the tiller part to be bigger than the wheel part. And so it's about a 60-foot field. And again, like I said, it's 6-foot fabric. So we're gonna be getting about 3 rows per bed. We're trying to come up with the right consistent lingua. Welcome to the Spanish channel. Some other project we got to do today. These plants are all looking great. Buplurum is on the last part. And what's the fuzzy parsley looking stuff? Larkspur is the fuzzy stuff up here. So the Buplurum, I can't even speak today. Buplurum. Did somebody with like severe speech impediment name flowers? So the buplurum are looking nice. And then up here we've got parsley growing, otherwise known as larkspur. And these are hardy forever, right? They don't ever need to be covered? Right. That's pretty impressive. But then over here, because we got a whole lot more ranunculus, we decided to move the snapdragons that we were going to plant in our tunnel out here.
Yeah, that's Chantilly.
Chantilly, all Chantilly variety.
Madam butterfly.
How many here?
600.
600 on a 60-foot row. So this is going to look special this spring. It's they need to be covered though, because they're hardy down to 28 degrees, right? So one of the first projects we're going to do today is a quick 9-gauge wire, like mini hoop, I guess you'd call it, because you want to get really low to the ground and not like high. So we're not doing conduit hoops yet. And these are temporary fixtures. So we're going to do that project, and we're going to get the frost cloth prepped out here for tonight. And that will get us ready for the next couple of nights, which we're going to have some lows, 25, 23. Yeah. Pretty cold. It's going to be real cold. So we're not going to get the whole peony field done today. That's a lot of digging. But it will hopefully get started, and we just got to keep, as I said, you got to plod. This is why I don't know how people who don't live on their farms do it. Because we got to step out every chance of daylight we got. Let an hour here, an hour there. You can put a couple more in. You can build the Great Wall of China.
No, we're not doing it.
One brick at a time. So we're building our flower Great Wall of China.
All right.
This is why she doesn't give me the camera all that often. I'm not serious enough for this job.
Well, we've had Dutch accents, we've had Spanish accents.
Spanish, Dutch, Groot and Groot. Let's open some more boxes.
Hey guys, so I get to do the really exciting part, which is unbox all of our peony bare roots that we got from Onings and tell you the varieties I chose. And it's going to be a big shock to you if you watch our channel that we went with all of the tried and true classic peonies. You're not going to find any like funky wackadoodle varieties in here or super expensive varieties. We went with the classics. When you think of a peony, when a retail customer just wants a bouquet of straight peonies on their table and to get the most amount of stems for what we charge, I needed to choose roots that didn't cost us a ton of money up front, that maybe you would say is worth the cost if you were selling to florists and doing wedding work, to have some of the more unique and special varieties where you can charge accordingly to a florist. We sell retail, and so we went with retail classic peonies. And we showed you earlier in the video, we bought primarily 5 to 8 eye roots. You can buy 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 8. The price obviously goes up with the size of the bare root because it is an older root, so it takes longer to grow. So it's going to cost more, but this just means we will get a bit closer to cutting on the peonies by starting a bit bigger. And so the first up we showed you was Sarah Bernhardt, and the way the tags, the way they sell wholesale is you tend to have to buy in packs of a certain set of numbers, and different wholesalers have different quantity sizes that they'll sell in, and sometimes it even changes within variety how many come in a set. And so this was 20 bare roots of Sarah Bernhardt is in this one crate. And the exciting thing about buying so many peonies is we get crates, because crates are always in high demand. And these boxes are just coming in the order they came off the truck, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, this one is different variety than Sarah. This one is, oh gosh, it's more French, but it's called
Duchesse de Nemours.
That sounded like you were having a stroke.
Duchess.
Yeah, Duchess. Duchess is a beautiful, beautiful classic white peony. Okay, so this one's interesting. So this one is Coral Charm. Coral Charm is a classic peony. It is super beautiful. It changes color as it ages. It's just so wonderful. But Onings does not sell it in 5 to 8 eye. It only sells it in 3 to 5 eye. and you have to order 35. So instead of 5 to 8i, 20 Sarahs, it is 3 to 5 with 35 coral in here. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, with some showing up. So a bit smaller, but I mean, not wildly smaller, let's be honest. So 35 corals. This one's more Sarahs. I bought, from a quantity perspective, the most Sarah Bernhardt's, because Sarah is just, when a retail customer thinks of a peony, in their mind, they're thinking of the Sarah Bernhardt peony. They produce an absolute crazy amount of stems. They're consistent, they're tough, they're affordable. So if you're gonna grow peonies, grow Sarahs. Sarah Bernhardt.
Whoever Sarah was, thank you.
I'm sure she was a fabulous lady. This is like our Christmas.
This is fun. I can't believe this will look like an FT.
I know. These, oh my gosh, these roots are beautiful. Okay, so this one is red charm. So it's gonna have a similar shape to coral charm, but it's a deep red color. If you know me at all, you know I don't love the color red. But peonies don't exactly come in like an insane range of colors. It's like cream, white, red, pink, coral. And so red charm produces really well. It's gonna be very unique. It's gonna look beautiful with like a white duchess. So I went with red against my own preference. But these are 5 to 8i. They already have beautiful roots growing and just so many growth points.
That'd be so tempting to not grab a few to sell next year.
We might.
Well,
You don't have to follow every single rule. The peony police are not gonna come.
Peony police.
They're not gonna be like, you cut on your peony and it is not year 3.
Year 3.
They like take all your peonies.
Like, over the...
Sorry. Wah, wah. What do we have here? Okay, Angel Cheeks.
Ooh.
I thought that's such a fun name.
Cheeks.
Sweet Cheeks. Angel Cheeks is pink, but its form and shape is really unique. It's like super ruffly. And it's right here. Can't even remember the color of this one.
Fleming.
Yep, Alexander Fleming. We'll put pictures on the screen because I don't remember. I'm sure it's a version of pink. But yeah.
Any vampire colors.
Yeah, red charm.
Red charm.
This is the vampire flower. Whew, look at all these crates though we're getting.
Protect the babies.
I know.
So we're done with varieties.
We're done with varieties, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, this should just be a duplicate. Yeah, Sarah Bernhardt.
More Bernhardt.
So let me look here. I got a packing list so we can be more official and together. Let's look at this. I cut the packing list in half, but you know. Okay, so we got 40 Alexander Fleming, 20 Duchess, 80 Sarah Bernhardt's, 40 Angel Cheek, 35 Coral Charm, and 20 Red Charm for a total of 235. And then like Eric said, we dug up our 100 peonies that were on the other side of the property to bring them over here so that they're in one field because that's smarter, it's more efficient, it'll look more beautiful. It's just right to have them over here. So those are in crates in the cottage. They're much smaller, so they're gonna be more like the 3i to 5i range. And they're a total mix together. They're not separate at all. But I know that there's gonna be Sarah's and Red Charm and Duchess all in there. They're just mixed up and not labeled as nicely. But that gives us a total of 335. And so once we have the field planted and we see exactly how many holes are left, I'll probably go in and try to order that exact amount to fill the field. And so we just have like our peony field planted, invested to patiently wait. so that we can be like really harvesting on them in 3 years' time. And I know us, in 3 years when we're cutting on them, we will have wished we planted like 2,000. I'm not spending that money. I'm not spending 2,000 peony work.
I mean, your goal here is, again, like we're starting.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be economical with proven product.
Yep. Well, oh, so that's a good point.
To say like we're not.
That's a good point. You might be able to think you can afford to buy and plant 2,000 peonies, but I would almost guarantee you do not have 2,000 peonies worth of customers right now. That takes time to build. It takes a lot of time to build. And yeah, they say invest and plant these early on, but even in like year 2 or 3, you don't necessarily have the customer base yet to offload 20,000 stems of peonies and need a cooler and have those floral relationships or those retail relationships yet. So one of the reasons why we are moving a bit slower, and even if we don't have as many peonies as we wish we have, I know that when these bloom, I'm going to be able to sell every single stem that comes out of this field with Eric, because we will have built our customer base over that time with a reasonable amount versus how many do I emotionally want to buy or can put on a credit card, because there's so much that goes into it that's not just purchase the roots, plant the roots, and wait. You need to be able to sell them.
And also buying not like the frilly, expensive version.
Oh yeah, you can really spend money if you want to on some fancy peony varieties. And just like with everything, like the peony catalog is incredible. There are some that are just unbelievable, but they're like $15+ per bare root. Whereas like Sarah is $4, $5 per bare root. That's a big difference. 3-4 times the price per bare root. You better have some fancy floral clients that you can sell those to, because you're not going to be able to sell an $8 per stem peony to a retail customer that just wants flowers on their kitchen table. They're not going to spend that. They're going to be like, so for $20 I get 2.5 peonies? No, there's no way. They want, what would that math be? They want like 5-6 Sarahs. They don't want 2 etched salmon, you know?
So last year we planted what, like $1, $2?
Yeah, last year we bought 1 to 3 eye peonies. They each cost, I think, $2, maybe $1.50, $2. Now this year that I just dug up, I can show you a comparison. Actually would be interesting. We can go get one. It's about 3 eyes. Some of them even have closer to 4 or 5 eyes, but I spent half what I spent on all of these. And so now we're going to have a huge peony field for not what I think some people spend on their peony fields. So we just went in the cottage and got some of the smaller ones to show you a size comparison. So this is what I dug up. Obviously when I planted there was like 1 to 3 eye sizes. And so this guy has grown and he has 1, 2, 3, and then I guess, you know, some weenies that are coming. So technically 5 eyes there. This guy, much smaller, but he's got 3 eyes. And these are the guys that only cost me like $1, $2 a piece. But let me show you the difference. This is a red charm. You can see a difference in my hand.
It wants to track your face.
So this is a difference between what would probably be billed as a 3 to 5 eye and a 5 to 8 eye. And so you can see the root size is very different. Then the eyes are different and the eyes are bigger because their roots are bigger. So it's the difference that you're paying for. And then obviously like the super cheap, the big difference. But this costs a lot more. You can see if you want. Look, you could even do a shot of here on the screen and you could do like 5 to 8, 3 to 5, 1 to 3.
What the? Coromdale Family Farm brought me in because of my long established technique with the shovel. Now, this may appear to be fairly simple work. But the reality is it takes one thrust like that, second thrust like that, and a lesser shoveler may try to pull out the dirt at that point. But the reality is it's the twist. And I'm a little reluctant to make that available on YouTube for the world to see. However, I'm getting near the end of my working career, so I figure it's part of my life to give back to others. So there is the Harrison twist. Come out with a perfect shovel to establish a future nest for the Pichelle peonies. Thank you.
Planting. Peonies don't want to go very deep. You only want about an inch or two of soil above the eyes at max. If you plant them too deep, they won't bloom. Then you have to dig them up and start over, which would be really a bummer. So, easy. Cut in. This is obviously soil level, so I can see it's about an inch under my fingers. That's all you have to do. Eric had tilled this with compost, so the texture is nice and easy.
With the Harrison twist.
With the Harrison twist of my dad. Easy peasy. I have the easy job. So this is the back bed. We have 5 beds and each one fits, I think we said about 80-ish. And I had dug our 100. And so in the back row, farthest from the street view and our flower stand and everything, we're planting our youngest peonies because these guys will take the longest to get to bloom compared to the bigger ones we showed you, the 5 to 8 eye. So I'm planting all of these back here. And then also because they're not labeled and they're all mixed up, I'm kind of planting them all together in the back row for what, I don't know, maybe future Alex will be annoyed, or I will like that it's a mix of color. But then moving forward towards the road, I'm gonna plant the late blooming varieties together, mid-season and early bloomers, to try to keep them somewhat in order to help with efficiency of harvest. Even though our field isn't that big, it's okay if everything's not in some perfect order. But that's the thought process going on right now.
These are getting big. Much bigger than our little dinks. So these little 12-inch holes we've cut are a bit of a challenge. So I'm digging. Take a picture of this tool for people. Helps till that earth sideways. You can kind of like go down the hole sideways and get it loose to fit the roots up and under. I know you could probably get an auger, but an auger would still only go straight down. You're still going to have to work to the side with big Sony's in. Why don't you come close and we'll try. So I'm trying to dig out a path for the roots. And I had taken my tiller and I had gone in sideways just to kind of loosen some of our clay soil. And we'll get this beautiful Sarah Bernhardt nestled in here for the winter. What do you think, babe?
Yeah.
Does that look all right?
Yep.
Get that dirt back over on the naked roots by hand.
Just get an inch above that eye. And we're good.
Trying to hand till the clay soil a little bit. Incorporate more of that compost.
Finish this row. Progress. All right, we got 140 peonies planted, which we had about like 330 here. So that's pretty good. I'm impressed with us. The smaller ones were obviously much easier to plant, and they're in this back row here, and so I flew really fast getting those done. But once we started on the 5 to 8i, it slowed down a lot. Eric had to pause and help because we really had to get these holes much wider and bigger to get all these wonderful roots in. But I'm really happy with our progress. Like Eric always says, we slow plod on our farm. So this week we'll probably put some more in. Next Saturday we'll put in another big planting day. And hopefully by early December, they're all in the ground, nicely watered in, and we'll wait until spring. You can tell where we planted by the mess, but we're actually going to get some rain overnight, which is a wonderful blessing. So things will get nicely watered in. I top dressed all the holes with like a starter fertilizer. You don't have to do that, but we already had it, and I'd like to use up what we've already purchased. So the rain will also soak that top dress fertilizer in. It'll clear off our landscape fabric a bit. We are not going to run irrigation lines until the spring because we're just not going to need it. We're probably not even going to need to water in the spring because of how wet we tend to get here. But the summer is when irrigating your peonies is going to be the most important thing to do. So that'll be a later spring project for us. But for now, they're wonderful and put to bed. We got to get it done. And then tulip planting. We'll see you in the next video.